Imagine, if you will, it's Black Friday, and that place that you like to shop has that thing that you've always wanted but have never been able to afford, and it's on sale. Sure, there are limited quantities, but you have a plan. Who cares about Thanksgiving dinner? You're going to get there early, you're going to sit in line for a few days and make sure that you're the first person in line so that you can definitely get that thing that you've always wanted. And your plan's worked. It's now an hour before the store is going to open, and you're first in line. There's a big line behind you, but that doesn't matter to you. You're going to get it because you're first in line. It's a half hour till the store opens, 15 minutes. Your anticipation is building. 10 minutes, 5 minutes, a minute, 30 seconds. Soon enough, you'll have that thing you've always wanted. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The doors open, and suddenly you see a robot swoops in, goes directly over to where that thing you love is, and buys every last one of them. Ridiculous, right? We never let it happen. But odds are, if that thing that you love is a concert ticket, that's exactly what has happened to you in the past. The problem is that there's a lot of different types of bots out there, from video game bots that earn players money, to bots that analyze the stock market, and even helpful bots that help make searches more efficient. So when we talk about bots, what we're specifically talking about is an automated set of processes that can constantly refresh a website and fill out information so as to procure tickets or reservations to, for example, a concert or a restaurant. These set of processes can not only do as much as a human, but they're also much more persistent and more willing to constantly check the website at all hours of the day to pick up any later release tickets or canceled reservations. And this is definitely a problem. It's not an unusual situation to see an artist selling their tickets for maybe $100, to see bots then swoop in and pick up 40 to 60% of these tickets, and then to see these tickets being sold on websites like StubHub for $4, $5, or even $600. So why haven't these been stopped yet? Well, I mean, in some cases it does actually make some amount of sense. For example, there's Diogo Monica, a gentleman who just wanted to be able to book a table at his favorite restaurant. But every time a reservation became available, it would suddenly be scooped up, and it didn't help that the reservations were being made available at really weird times during the day, either very early in the morning or just at a random point during the day. He didn't want to spend his entire day just sitting around waiting for a reservation to become available. So what he did is he made a set of processes to alert him whenever a reservation became available with the intention to then find himself a reservation. And you can take this even a step farther and do even more good, like what we saw happen with the London Olympics. In the months preceding the London Olympics, what people found was that seats were incredibly hard to find because, much like Diego's restaurant reservations, the seats would become available at very random times during the day, and whenever they would become available, they would be scooped up before anybody noticed. So what a small news team in England did is they developed a bot that would just check the website and see when seats were available, but rather than grabbing those seats or just alerting the people that had made the bot that the seats were available, instead what it did is it was connected to Twitter, and it would tweet out the availability of these seats whenever one was available. This helped thousands of people get seats to the Olympics, and it was so beneficial to people that at the end of the Olympics, it was named as the second most helpful piece of media for the entire coverage of the London Olympics. But more than anything else, the reason why it hasn't been stopped is it's just difficult to stop. Going after the actual methods that these bots use to actually go in and get these tickets doesn't really work, because any measures that are taken to stop bots are quickly circumvented. CAPTCHA has already been broken numerous times, which is why you see it change basically every year. So the other major option that's been attempted is legal punishment, but that hasn't really worked very well either. Only 14 states actually have an anti-bot law, and very few of them have ever actually prosecuted under that law. And what few prosecutions we have had have barely managed to make a difference. For example, the largest such prosecution was in 2010 against a company called Wise Guys Tickets. Wise Guys Tickets was owned and operated by two men who made ticket bots. They made $25 million in 7 years, but even though they were indicted and found guilty, between the two men they had to pay less than $500,000. So obviously legal action isn't really working either. So the question then becomes, is it worth it to keep trying to stop ticket bots, or are there enough positives to their use that we should just give up and let it happen? We think it's definitely worth it to keep trying to stop ticket bots, and here's why. Even if you are just using a bot for the sake of convenience, it's way too easy to just take a few steps too far, much like Diogo found. He had his bot that would tell him when reservations were available, but he found that he still couldn't get reservations because he wasn't around when the bot alerted him that tickets were available. So he modified his bot so that when a reservation was available, the bot would just make the reservation, and suddenly he found himself with 20 reservations a day, and nobody else could get reservations. In the pursuit of convenience, he himself had made a ticket bot. But you might say, hey, some ticket bots are helpful. What about the London Olympics? That was very helpful to a lot of people. And here's the thing. In all of our searches, trying to find altruistic uses for ticket bots, like what happened with the London Olympics, we could find nothing besides the London Olympics, and we spent quite a lot of time searching. So the cost of actually stopping the ticket bots is going to be very little in terms of what good we lose. And to the point of it being hard to stop, well, I mean, even small victories can make a huge difference. Getting to see an artist that you love live in concert might make all the difference to someone, especially if that someone is younger. And being able to stop ticket bots for even just a month means literally thousands of people that get to go to and see concerts that otherwise might not have gotten to see that concert. And there are routes that we can try and take that we have not yet tried. For example, rather than trying to go after the actual processes of the ticket bot, we could try and disincentivize their use by going after such websites as TicketStub. If TicketStub couldn't sell a $100 ticket for $600, then they can't pay the person who used the ticket bot so much money, and thus the entire venture becomes a little less lucrative. If the entire venture is a little less lucrative, maybe we don't see as many problems with ticket bots as we currently do. And that's important because studies have shown that since recorded music is even easier and cheaper to get than ever before, people would rather spend money that they spent on albums and records and everything like that on getting to see live music. And wouldn't it be nice if instead of paying $600 for a seat to see that one artist that we love, if we could instead pay a fraction of that cost to see many artists that we love? And wouldn't it be nice to get all those tickets at our convenience instead of having to worry about a robot swooping in and scooping up all of the tickets that are available?